Hi, welcome to our second semester. We are now in General Chemistry 2. So, for your first module, in the next 2 weeks, as you accomplish all the readings and activities, you will be able to understand the properties of liquids and solids to the nature of forces between particles. Use the kinetic molecular model to explain the properties of liquids, differentiate the types of intermolecular forces. And for your module assessment, the Let's Prepare part at the end of this module, after reading, understanding, and answering the activities, you are expected to design an experiment where any of the three topics will be explored or investigated. So remember, as you design your experiment, you will pick any of the three topics discussed, or you may use your answer from Activity 4. The experiment report should include the problem, materials, method, conclusion, and the experiment report may be handwritten or printed. What is in the experiment report? You have the problem, state the purpose of your experiment. I've given the example to show how properties of matter are affected by intermolecular forces. And then materials, so list down your materials. Method is the step-by-step procedure from material preparation to performing the experiment. Take pictures for documentation, which will be included in your experiment report. And for the conclusion, explain your choice of experiment. Why did you choose this topic? And then explain if you were able to meet the purpose or you were able to answer the problem, and explain the concept behind your experiment. And next to it is how you will be graded, which will have a highest possible score of 30 points, and hopefully no one will get this lower part. For the Lex experience, this is a suggested time for you to make your module. Activity 1 is a review of the ideal gas, which was tackled in your General Chemistry 1. Then readings 1 will be about kinetic molecular theory and ideal versus real gases. Read and understand this selection. For after this selection, you will answer the activity, which will test your understanding. Answer the questions with complete answer. If you can cite the reference where you got your answer, the better. So, activity 2 is what have I learned? So, you need to read and understand the selection. The question is 5 points each. So, please read the rubrics given for you to get the highest possible score. So, activity 2 is 10 points. For readings 2, it is about intermolecular forces and some properties of liquids. After this reading is your experiment. Activity 3, perform and learn deeper. In this, I have performed the experiment. If in case you want to redo the experiment, the better for you to have a hands-on activity. But if you will have a limited time, please do watch the video or the demonstration for you to be able to answer the questions after each procedure. So setup A. So fill the glass with tap water. Place the needle or safety pin slowly. Do not drop it. And then observe. Write your observation on the blank provided in your module. Then number 2, setting aside the tap water, you get a glass of hot water. Place the needle or safety pin slowly. Do not drop it just as you put the needle or safety pin like in number 1. Then observe, write your observation. And of course, in this experiment, there is a science behind these. So what is that science behind these procedures? Setup B. Slowly pour tap water onto a clean plate. Move the plate and observe how the water will flow. Next procedure, spread oil to a plate. Slowly pour tap water onto the clean plate and then move the plate and describe the flow of water. Procedure 3. Spread oil to a plate. Then slowly pour tap water with soap. And then observe, describe the flow of water. And of course, you have to explain the science behind the procedure you have performed or you have watched. So, setup C, fill the glass of water as high as possible. Drop the coin and observe. in a different class, fill it with dishwashing soap. Or in this case, I used a pet shampoo. Then, as high as you can, drop the coin and observe. Answer the general observations that follow the procedure. For readings 3, it tackled about types of intermolecular forces. But since you have a limited time, so I choose the dipole and hydrogen bonding. So read and understand these topics for you to be able to answer activity 4. For activity 4, let's investigate. Find a real-life example of each intermolecular force that you have read or learned. Fill in the table for your answer. See example in the first row as your guide. So, I have given a real-life example of one of the intermolecular forces that was not mentioned in the readings. So, I found a dissolving table salt to water. So, this is an example of an ion dipole forces. And ion dipole forces happen when sodium ions and chlorine ions will dissociate or they will be separated. The attraction between the sodium ion and a partially negative oxygen in water is the ion dipole force. It is due to this force of attraction that the polar molecule will dissolve in a polar solvent like water. Then, you will find two examples. So, it can be one for hydrogen bonding and one for dipole-dipole, or it can be two hydrogen and two dipole-dipole. So, it's up to you. For activity 5, apply your knowledge. You may use this space for the let's prepare part. Or you may have your experiment report printed and attach it to your modules. If you have any questions or clarifications, please message me or post in our Facebook page. Thank you.